Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone is doing well. Today I have 5 Reddit stories for you. All credit goes to the original posters. I will link the stories in my description box. First story is The Man in the Top Hat. When I was about 5 years old, I used to always see this abnormally tall man in the corner of my eye. He wore a top hat and had long spindly fingers, though this apparition never fully showed itself, always hiding in the form of a misty but still prominent shadow. He'd always follow me around, but I never minded him being there. Unlike most ghosts, I wasn't afraid of him. His presence brought me a sense of ease and belonging, almost like a father figure that took constant care of me. I grew older and he started to appear less frequently. One night when I was around the age of 9 or 10, I had a dream, and the man wearing the top hat was in it. He looked like a normal human being. He looked kind, but in an eerie way. I don't remember his exact features other than that he was tall and always wore a suit with a top hat. He sat on a wooden chair placed in the middle of an empty, dimly lit room. I approached him with caution and called out, "Hello." He didn't look at me or acknowledge my presence, but soon I heard a deep, velvety voice echo around me. I knew it was him. He said something along the lines of, "Goodbye. It's time I left you behind." I was saddened by this, but I knew something between us had changed. Before I woke up, he turned to face me with his gentle eyes and too begun smiling at me. My dream ended. I haven't seen him since. Sometimes I still think about him and wish he came back, but I'm older now and he knows I don't need looking after. Story 2 is called Dolly. My roommate Lindsay has an uncanny eye. She finds money on the sidewalk. She picks bouquets of 4-leaf clovers. She finds amazing stuff at yard sales and flea markets. She has a knack for finding great things, until last month. She brought back a dummy to our room. Actually, a store mannequin. She found it lying in an alley downtown and dragged it all the way back to campus. The dummy is a tall, willowy girl with a striking bald head. She has large eyes, a turned-up nose, a perfect cleft in her upper lip, and in spite of a few dings and scuffs, she's actually rather lovely in her own strange way. We propped her in the corner on Lindsay's side of the room and dressed her in an oversized t-shirt. We named her Dolly. Maybe naming her was a mistake. Because Dolly moves around. I don't mean she's flexible in her joints. I mean she moves around, literally, without any help. I first noticed it a few days after she arrived. I would leave for class in the morning and she would be in one position, and when I got back later, she had moved. It was subtle at first, just a slight turn of the body or a repositioned arm. But the other week I came back to find her on my side of the room, leaning against the wall of my bed. I put her back in her place, but the next day I found her standing in my closet. I thought Lindsay was moving her around as a joke, but she denied it. Then last week it happened on a Saturday when Lindsay was away. I came back from breakfast and Dolly was standing at the window as if she were looking out. One hand outstretched toward the morning sunlight, but she hadn't been like that when I got up, and nobody else has a key to our room. I told Lindsay about it, but she thinks I'm making it up or doing it myself. I'm not. Over the past few days, Dolly's moves have gotten even weirder. Exaggerated, extreme, both arms reaching upward, body and head turned in opposite directions. It gives me the creeps, so I put her back where she belongs each time. But she always moves again. I have a theory. There's a ghost story on campus I've heard since I was a freshman. They say a girl killed herself in our dorm, a dancer. Everybody knows somebody who claims to have seen her, but that's exactly what I think is happening with Dolly. Those are dancers' poses, dramatic, expressive, bigger than life. It's what a young girl might do on a stage, turning, reaching, trying to express deep feelings that words can't capture. I think the dead girl has gotten inside of Dolly. Lindsay is away again this weekend, so I've been alone with Dolly. Last night I heard her move in the dark, just a little creak from across the room. Maybe she thought I was asleep. This morning when I woke, she was pointing at me. I'm so afraid of what I might see tomorrow morning. Her hands reaching out to me, her body twisted grotesquely. But what about tonight? What if I felt a hard, painted hand touch my cheek in the night? I might go crazy. But I'm even more afraid of what's here in the room, right now. The dark thing that stirs inside the mannequin's hollow shell. Those flat plastic eyes watching me. What exactly could a dead girl get up to when she gets her body back? All that glitters. Hey everyone, I'm hoping someone can give me some ideas about an incident that happened when I was a child. I was about 7 or 8 years old and I was sleeping in my mom's bed with her as I would have most nights. To give some context, my mom was a single parent and for as long as I can remember, I have always sensed energies, had dreams that have come true, seen auras around people and strangers and picked up their energies. I always felt like I was being watched in my childhood home. I have had so many incidents where I've seen people in the house, felt energies upstairs, etc. My entire childhood, every night, I would feel someone sitting on my bed. I could actually see the corner of the bed going down while someone sat there. I would feel cold air on my face and arms, and my hair would blow back, as if a window was opened. This sounds like rubbish, but it generally happened every night in that house. I didn't move out until I was 23. I could talk about so many strange things that happened in the house to both my mom and I. Back to the actual question. One night when I was around 7 or 8 years old, I was terrified because the same routine happened in that I'd be laying in bed reading a book with my nightlight on. I'd feel someone sitting on my bed. The cold air would start on my face and my hand, as if someone was touching my hand, and my hair started to blow back a little, as if my window was opened. My mom would continually check my window for gaps, in case this was what was causing the coldness when I told her about it every morning. But nothing was ever found wrong with the window. So the routine of me running into my mom's room every night, terrified, occurred. While we were sitting talking in her bed, aka her trying to calm me down, what can only be described as glitter started falling from the ceiling. Instantly, I felt calm and happy. I put my hand out and started trying to catch the glitter, but as soon as I did, it would disappear from my hand. I looked around at my mom and she said, "I see it too." We both laughed. We didn't even question what was happening or where on earth this random glitter was coming from. We both felt so happy, so calm. It was absolutely bizarre. After this night, my mom started to talk about things that would happen to her, such as feeling energies, seeing auras, how she was sometimes visited by an angel called Michael, who told her things that came true. He told her he was her guardian, and on a visit one night when I was a late teenager, he told her that the once building in our area was built, that she would be told she had terminal cancer. Everything he told her was exactly true, and what would be because she had a job to do in the other ville, so they needed to call her home. Again, I sound crazy, but there was no mention of this particular building for us to know about. When we got a letter through the door 6-7 years later to say it was being built, we both screamed. She told me that she would have dreams that came true and told me she didn't want to tell me it all at such a young age. But after that night with the glitter, she knew it was time. I knew that I wasn't going crazy because the same stuff happened to her and the other girls in my family. My great-gran, my gran, and my cousin. Again, I'll write another post soon about some more experiences that I've had, because after reading other posts in this community, I am so glad to be able to talk to others who have experienced similar things and that don't look at you like you're insane when you try to talk about experiences. If anyone has any clue what happened that night with the glitter, please let me know. I'd love to know if this ever happened to anyone else. Mom and I often spoke about that night. It was one of our last conversations together before she passed away, just like Michael had told her, from terminal cancer. A mass shooter's car. One evening last August, my city had a mass shooting, the first one we've had in my country for decades. A guy my age killed his mother, then left the house and took several more innocent lives before blowing his brains out. My dad had recently purchased a new car. On the news, they showed the guy and showed his house, and my dad said, "Shit, that's the lad I bought the car off." I can't confirm this, and you're free to not believe me, but he swears it was the guy. That should be the end of the story, but no. The car is always parked outside my bedroom window about 15 feet away, and due to the house being on a slope at eye level, I'm a smoker, so I sit there and often just chain smoke at night. One night I see a dark silhouette against the car for a brief second. It's a headless man with a gun, walking like a soldier. Now I could put that down to tiredness, plus I really hated the guy, and I guess I'd been thinking about him. But I've seen it several times, though in less detail than the first, and never when I've been thinking about the car's history. And now the reason I posted this, just 15 minutes ago, a man walks up the street, a quiet cul-de-sac, with a young boy, I presume his son, not far behind. Otherwise the street is empty. The guy turns to look at the car, sort of waves. He says, "Hi there, mate, you alright?" As if he's passing someone. He wasn't speaking to me nor the kid. He saw someone who wasn't there. The street is empty. My first thought is maybe the guy suffers from hallucinations. It just reminded me the shooter, while his motive is officially unknown, was an incel. He killed a 3-year-old girl but walked right past a man who he knew wasn't married. He made casual small talk with the man like nothing was happening, right before going back to what he did. I know this isn't exactly an interesting story. If I were making it up, I'd make it so that he died in the car or whatever, which he didn't. He didn't own it for weeks before the tragedy occurred, but nonetheless, I can't shake the feeling that he's right outside my window sometimes. Am I just imagining things? Probably, but I still feel something. I've had something following me around since I was a child, and I think it's a demon. Hello, my name is Chloe. I'm 29 years old. I've always been drawn to the paranormal since I was a child, especially the darker side. When I was about 10 years old, I talked about how I wished I had a demon as a friend, specifically a female demon. I talked about it for a few weeks, and then one night I got up to get a drink, and I saw a young woman, probably about 21 or 22, standing in the kitchen. She was very formally dressed. She was wearing a black suit, black pants, and dress shoes. She had long black hair and very pale skin. I guess she sensed me, and she turned around and knelt down in front of me. That's when I noticed that her eyes were solid black. She placed her hand on my shoulder, smiled, and said, "Hi, little girl," then disappeared. Ever since then, I've seen her in random places. She always smiles and waves at me. She's never been threatening towards me. I don't know what exactly she is, but I'm leaning towards her being a demon based on her appearance. Tell me what you guys think. Thank you for listening. If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing and liking my channel, and I will see you on the next one.